The Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank fight may be the biggest fight in boxing. I'm going to argue that it is. And a lot of you guys are going to come in and say, wait, what are you talking about? Do you not know about David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez? Yeah, trust me guys, I know that. I'm a big boxing fan. I know that that's the fight that everybody wants to place their eyeballs on and say, you know, this is the best fight in the sport of boxing. Maybe you guys are right, but I'm talking about the biggest event. I'm talking about the biggest event in the sport of boxing that can make a lot of money. I just don't think, as good as David Benavidez is, he's one of my favorite fighters. I just think that, you know, there's still time for him to promote himself, to make him an even bigger name in the sport. Even on a grand world scale level, I think that, you know, there's still room to allow that fight to marinate. That's just my opinion. You know, I'd love to see it whenever I'm gonna watch it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an idiot, but I still think that Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, the rematch, is probably the biggest fight in the sport of boxing right now. I don't know a bigger fight. You know, before it was probably Spence and Crawford. That had an argument because that fight had literally been, you know, these guys were at the top of the 147 division for years, and you know that was highly anticipated. There was years of build up, and both guys had a tremendous fan base. But Ryan Garcia and Tank are just on another level, doing 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. That's proof in the pudding right there. That just shows how big these guys are on a grand scale, even outside of the sport of boxing. That once a fight breaks you like 800,000 pay-per-view buys, that tells me that they're probably popular outside of the ring too. So, or at least one of the guys is. So when you have guys like Tank and Ryan Garcia doing 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, that tells me, okay, there's some special fan base in there. There's a really big fan base. It's different. I really do think that those two do bigger numbers than Canelo and Benavidez. I don't think it's a big pay-per-view fight like people think. If I had to guess, Canelo and Benavidez does maybe 700,000 pay-per-view buys, but I really don't think that Benavidez and Canelo does more pay-per-view buys than Tank and Ryan. That's just such a big fight. That rematch is so big, especially now with the PED controversy. I don't see David and Canelo being a bigger fight than Ryan Garcia and Tank. 1.2 million in their first fight, and I think they'd do more in a rematch, especially, you know, just the PED stuff that's come out about Ryan Garcia after beating a guy like Devin Haney the way he did. I think that fight's too big. Tank and Ryan's the fight I want to see. In a rematch, they have to figure out the weight, of course. That's going to be the biggest bump in the road, but by any means necessary to make that fight happen, because I feel like for Tank, even though he doesn't want to fight Ryan Garcia at a really high weight, which it makes sense. You know, Ryan Garcia is bigger than Tank, so I understand Tank not wanting to fight at like 54 or something like that, where Ryan Garcia would probably be basically twice Tank's size, not only in terms of height, but in terms of physical size as well. So Tank has literally said that he's willing to fight Ryan Garcia at like 140, 143, but he can only gain like 10 pounds. If he wants to fight at 43, he could only, you know, get up to 153. And I don't think that Ryan Garcia would probably take that, just because he's learned his lesson in the first fight against Tank with the rehydration clause and the catch weight at 136. He doesn't want to go through that again. So I don't see that happening, you know, at least right away. But I really do think by any means necessary, there's just too much money on the table for Tank and Ryan to walk away from that rematch, in my opinion. That's the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. If you guys want to talk about eyeballs, no matter what you guys thought about the first outcome, if you guys think Tank dominated and that was a fair and even playing field, you know, okay, I respect that. But in my opinion, I think a rematch at a higher weight, that's a different fight, in my opinion. You know, especially now Ryan Garcia has a different level of confidence. Tank has that. As good as Tank is, he's also going to think, okay, you know, I thought Devin was a little bit nicer than that, but now I know Ryan can really hurt him. And Tank is kind of defending Ryan Garcia because he really does want his win against Ryan Garcia to look better, so I get that. So, you know, that's why Tank is honestly defending Ryan, saying that I don't think he's cheating. I think that, you know, Devin just wants to complain about it. He's going on ESPN the next day, and I will agree that some of that was a little bit weird to see Devin Haney just like literally the day after Ryan Garcia's news of the PED test, you know, being positive, literally the day after an interview of ESPN comes out with Devin Haney, and he's talking about his loss and how he wasn't ever outmatched like that. But I've been saying Devin Haney's like, he's in a tough position, because you guys got to remember, like, he's basically just moved up to 40. Obviously, he debuted at 140 against Regis Prograis, which was a credible opponent. But I was saying that's not Ryan Garcia. I think Ryan Garcia is better than Regis. The power specifically, you know, you can have the best fundamentals, but sometimes your talent can bail you out. And Ryan Garcia can fight. So like, he doesn't just have a left hook, he has a right hand as well. He has a good jab when he uses it. And you know, that left hook to the body and to the head is just like that literally that cherry on the sundae, you know, like the cherry on top. So I don't know, I just think that people have slept on Ryan, and now that, you know, he's proven that he can beat a good fighter, a good boxer. It's shaken up the sport a little bit. Everybody thought, you know, a great boxer could always beat a great puncher, but that's just not the case, because Ryan Garcia has also shown that he can box, he can be physical, and, you know, more than anything, his psychological warfare outside of the ring is almost as effective as his offense inside the ring. You know, he knows how to mess with you inside and outside of the ring mentally. And I think that's what, you know, a big issue was for Devin Haney. He was like confused. He didn't know if Ryan Garcia was going to jump on him, if he was really crazy, if he was just trolling. I think that they said that they didn't believe Ryan Garcia, but like I've said before, if they really believed that Ryan Garcia was trolling the world and that he was going to come in that fight 100%, that shouldn't have been the game plan. Like, no matter what people say, like, people do talk about how certain fighters are going to force you to fight, and that's true, but I would love to see in a rematch Devin have the right game plan and then see what happens if, you know, Ryan Garcia would be able to land that left hook. I still pick Ryan. I'm just saying I would like to see the best version of Devin, and the best version of Devin isn't the fighter that's standing in the center of the ring, isn't the fighter that's, you know, getting targeted by that jab, isn't circling to the left to avoid that left hook. So I don't know. I still think that Devin very may well, you know, win a rematch. I'd pick Ryan, but my chances for Devin, it's still like a 40-60 split in terms of who I think will win. I would give that 60% to Ryan Garcia, just off the fact that, you know, I saw what I saw. PEDs or not, I saw what I saw, and just the fact that Ryan Garcia was able to land that. I think I would feel differently if I saw Ryan Garcia like really roughening up Devin Haney, being very physical with him, and then I saw, you know, the punches, everything that Ryan Garcia was landing was doing damage, and a lot of his shots were doing damage, but for the most part it was the right hand and the left hook, two of Ryan Garcia's best punches. So it's hard for me to say that, you know, even without PEDs that Devin would beat Ryan. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to, you know, condone cheating. I'm not trying to say that if Ryan Garcia did this intentionally that he shouldn't be facing consequences. I know that's not true. But ultimately, I just think that Ryan Garcia, like Devin Haney said, he might be a C-level boxer, but he's an A-plus fighter. That's just the reality of Ryan Garcia. He might not be the prettiest and most fundamentally sound fighter out there, or, you know, he might not look like Shakur. He might not fight like Devin. He might not have that same rhythm, that same ability to be elusive, but the ability to fight and his talent alone allows him to get away with it, allows him to pull off big wins like what he did to Devin. And we'll see what happens with the PEDs, but, you know, I saw what I saw what I needed to see, and yeah, it just showed me that as good as Devin Haney is, styles make fights against good boxers, against smaller guys. He seems to have that weight advantage. He does seem like the stronger guy, but when he was in that ring with somebody who didn't have to go down to 40, you know, took it upon himself to not make weight, and obviously sacrificed the scales. He sacrificed that belt on the scales and still went in that fight, not having to cut that last 3 pounds, those last 3 pounds, but we know that those pounds are the hardest to lose. So in doing that, Ryan Garcia was basically the stronger guy. He was the more healthy guy in that ring. You know, just because you have a six-pack, just because you're shredded, doesn't mean that you're at your best and peak condition. You're not at your optimal condition just because you're ripped. Ryan Garcia could have felt a lot stronger, could have felt a lot, more energetic because he didn't have to make that weight. He felt that, and I think it did help him in that fight, but I still think his ability to find that left hook is the game changer. The power is what changes everything. It's the deciding factor in many fights, most fights, and against Devin Haney, that was the factor. So Devin just has to, go back to that plan of trying to box him and stay away from Ryan Garcia, make it a boring fight if he has to, but win by any means necessary. I still pick Ryan Garcia, but I think I want to see Devin, box more, do what he does best. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Tank and Ryan Garcia, that's the fight I want to see personally. Do you guys think it happens, and when will it happen? Because I'd love to see it. I think there's too much money for it to not happen, but I think it'll take a while to determine that weight. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's been your boy Matt with Nats Fight Media, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nats Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Matt Nabong with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.